There we are. We're on the air. Yay! Hi, everybody. This is Lucy, and and why you don't have to be perfect in this crazy little world and the crazy little things that we want to do. But before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that we do this every Monday through Thursday, or every Monday through Friday from at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then we have a show on Wednesday nights for After Dark at 8 p.m. for those people who can't just live during the day. And I want to introduce my guests now. We have Donnie and Jen. So, Donnie, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be awesome.
Okay, hello folks. My name is Donnie Parks, and I'm a dad, and I'm a writer on blogs and an internet marketer, and I'm a rebel marketer, and I like to have adventure and share those adventures with other people. So, yeah, that's pretty much sums me up.
And Jen?
I'm Jennifer Fields, and I'm just a single gal living in Denver, Colorado, and just enjoying life. I'm a blogger and like helping people with mindset work and health and wellness, and then I also do freelance writing as well. So that's me.
Awesome, awesome. So, let me set this up for you guys. When was the first time you ever got the feeling where you wanted to do something, but it wasn't perfect, or you didn't know enough about it, and you felt like stifled, or like you couldn't pursue it because you didn't have all the pieces in place? Just jump in, whoever comes up first.
Well, one of the things that I had a problem with, just in the professional business world, is I've always been, a hands-on person as far as when it comes to work. Either learning a new system or working with a new tool, or learning, how to do things, or teach other people how to do things. I've always been able to do that fairly well. But when it came to starting my own online business and starting the internet world, so to speak, I was a little bit fearful and hesitant about getting started with that. I knew what it was out there, but I didn't know how I could do it, and so I was a little bit hesitant to even try many things, because I would try one thing and it wasn't quite perfect. It wasn't quite there how I wanted it to be, and I thought everything had to be just so, like in my other work. Everything is just sort of laid out, prior military too, so it's like everything's just sort of easily laid out in steps. Well, wasn't the case when I first started. I didn't know how to go about, because I didn't have a system to follow. I didn't have a group, or I didn't have a mentor, and so I just was confused a lot of the times, and I was hesitant because everything was not working out perfectly. I didn't know what to do because there were so many things that you could do, and I was a bit of a perfectionist because I couldn't get one thing to work really well because I was too busy trying to do something else at the same time. Yeah, that's one of the instances for me.
And Jen?
One of the instances I think of was when I first started freelance writing, and so when I first started my freelance writing business, and I just thought I would pick up a few clients here and there, and this was when I was going to school part-time. And I just kind of got caught up in, like, everybody says you have to have a website, or you have to have, business cards and branding and a logo and all of this stuff and a business plan. And I would get hung up in that sometimes, because I just had to have everything perfect first, and I had to have the right kind of writing samples, and to go after certain assignments or go after certain industries. So that kind of got me hung up for a little bit. And when I started, I did end up just getting a couple little side things here and there that got me going way before, I put a website up. I mean, I had a business name, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, that's something that I remember is, like, everything has to be in place, and it has to be the perfect branding and everything before I can launch and actually do some work and earn some income.
I can totally relate to both of those, because husband was in the military. There's a goal for everything. So you have step-by-step training. You know how to do that stuff, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, as far as because being a parent, man, I thought that was going to be like the easiest job ever. They just get here and you make choices and you having to nurture them can be a little bit different. I can understand where, you think you've got to do all of these things and you think you have to have all these things in place. And a lot of people will tell you that you do, like you were talking about, Jen, where they told you had to have all these things before you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's those things. Has that really been the case? Did you have to have all those things lined up before you actually got started and started doing something with that? What do you think, Jen? Did you?
I finally, because to me that was too overwhelming. I didn't really have the income to pay somebody to build a website, nor am I that savvy to build it myself. I'm not a graphic designer, so I just wasn't going to worry about having the perfect logo and all that stuff. I had some cards made up on one of the online sites that you can do free or really cheap cards, and I started with my own current network and networking with people who I'd already worked with, who, back in corporate America at a different job, who had already seen some of my work, and just started that way and started just networking in person. And that is what had helped me in kind of just telling people, and word spread and referrals came in. So that's actually what got me started. So yeah, I think it probably was maybe 2 years before I actually put a website up. So I had somewhat coming in before that.
So in other words, it didn't have to be perfect, right?
Exactly. It's just you just dive in and start. For me, in that instance, it was diving in and just starting to talk to people.
Awesome. How about you, Johnny?
I'm going to go off on a different tangent a little bit here. As far as from the business side, that was difficult starting out. But personally, like I said, I like adventure, and I like to do obstacle racing and adventure and rock climbing and martial arts. And in particular, martial arts and obstacle racing, they're very physically demanding, very challenging. Before I've been doing martial arts for a long time, but as far as obstacle racing, before I actually started doing those races, I thought that I had to be, in a certain physical shape, a certain form. I knew that, being in shape and being able to run and being able to accomplish, the missions in the run and going over the obstacles. I knew that you had to be in a certain physical shape, but I was hesitant to even start doing those because I thought that I wasn't in good enough shape. I wasn't perfect yet. I wasn't able to. I thought maybe I shouldn't even try that because I'm not going to win. I'm not going to do very well. I might not even finish. But that was a lot of self-doubt, and then I just kind of had to pull upon my martial arts training, like, hey, it's not that you can't do it. It's just whether you decide to do it or not. That's just, and I'll tell you one story like this. A race I just ran recently. It was called a Bushido Challenge, and it was crazy. I had running from ninjas and all this other stuff. But there was one instance where I had to go across this wall, a traverse wall, and it had these little tiny handholds like rock climbers, practicing rock climbing on. Well, it was over a pit of water, and you had to go across it, and then go across a beam, and then go across another one. Well, I tried twice, and you can only do it 3 times, and I tried it on the 3rd time, and a guy came up, was behind me, and he said, and he already admitted defeat. He said, I can't do that. And he said, are you going to go for it? And I said, I'm just not going to go. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And he said, what? And I said, I'm just going to do it. And I said, I've already tried it twice, but now I'm going to do it. And he said, well, go ahead, Charlie Brown, or something silly like that. And I started, and then I did it. I didn't put failure in my mind. I wasn't going back in that water the 3rd time, and I got all the way across. And that's just one instance. it can't be. You can't have the perfect technique, or you can't be in the top physical form, or you can't have the perfect business setup, or the perfect all of the different everything set up, the tools set up for everything all the time. It can't be perfect. So the main thing is just to take action on what you do have so that you can get through. That's one of the things I've learned. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I think what I have found, like in the last few years, getting past my perfect and being, not worried about, having everything set up to where it's perfect all the time, has really taught me how to step outside my comfort zone. Because I used to have this little world where, I lived in a box. So my husband literally used to tell me all the time, you live in a box, not everything is black and white. You can't just, it's not everything's perfect. Everything fit into that mold. And I used to get frustrated a lot. But now, since I have taken the time to really realize that things aren't perfect, and that if I do want something to get closer to what I want it to be, that there are things I can do to take action on it. And I don't have to be perfect when I try it. And if I try it, then I'm going to learn something about it and make it better the next time. And then that next time I'll learn something else, and I'll make it better next time. I saw a quote today. It totally cracked me up. There was nobody knew who had written it, but the quote was, "There's no such thing as perfection. That's why pencils come with erasers."
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, I think that we all have been taught, because we had school where there was these steps that we had to take, and then if we all got to the steps, then we had the right answer. But I think in life, there is no right answer. There's only, there's just a place you want to go, and the only way to get there is to start tasting like when you shoot a rocket to the moon, it's not actually on course, and they make tons of course corrections along the way in order for it to get to where it's supposed to go. And I think that's true for us as well. If we're not shooting for something, if we're not going somewhere, then we can't make course corrections, and we can't actually hit a target because we don't even know what our targets are.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
I agree. It's funny, just like sitting here talking about this, I'm just having this epiphany of just how kind of funny it is that we get hung up on being perfect, because especially if you're trying something new, it's almost impossible to expect it to just be perfect. You just have to kind of go for it. And it's fine to want to plan and have some kind of plan that you're following, but like, we're not psychic. Maybe there are some people out there who claim to be psychic. I mean, I'm not. We just can't predict things. So, yeah, we just have to kind of just go for it and make the corrections and be okay with making mistakes or learning something new or learning a better way to do something, and course correct and keep moving forward. And you're going to hit something again where you're going to have to, shift to the left a little bit, and next time you'll shift to the right, and you just keep going through it. It's like a little obstacle course, life is.
I like that about the obstacle course. Traversing back and forth, you have to constantly make course adjustments, like you're talking about on the lunar module too there, Jen. That's pretty awesome. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've often wondered, if I didn't make those constant, corrections in my own life, where would I be? I'd probably be lost. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can see it like as I think we attract things into our life that we need, and so when we start to find these things we want to do, even if they scare us, we really should try them. I mean, when I got married, it was like the totally different opposite. I'm the place, and it's funny to me because I reel him in, and he reels me in. And so it's funny because we can help each other course correct when we're, when we're off on our little tangents and we're in our little, our little worlds. Like if he's totally in chaos, then I can come in and fix and say, no, look, this is what needs to happen over here. And he can come in and say, the same situation. Like last week when I was getting frustrated, he came in and he's like, okay, well, this is what you need to do because you're just thinking along that little box line that you like to do. There's no black and white to this. Just try something else. And so have you found that you have things in your life or friends in your life that do that sort of thing? Perfect.
Jen, can you repeat that? Just that we have friends in our life that
Yeah.
kind of help keep us on track?
Okay.
Was that kind of the question? I think it was. Yeah, I do have people. I have, a friend that I talked to last night, and she was reading me something from a book that somebody had given her on, like the nine things successful people do, and she had read something, and I don't remember who it was, but something along the lines of, getting it done is better than having it be perfect, and that was just last night. I was talking to her, and it's, these are messages that, I think probably all of us can use. I know right now in my life, I just can use that reminder is it's just about taking action, and it's all going to be okay, and, just take action and don't worry about it being perfect and just get it done.
Yeah, that reminds me of a lesson. I learned it today, actually. I mean, I've learned it in the past, but I keep getting reminded about it, that especially working online, making a business, having a business online, working online like we do with Rebel Marketers, you can easily get caught up in the trap of trying to be perfect training. You try to make this, and you do more training. Oh, I see this other thing. I need more training. And training is great, to use as you need it. But using all that training, I was reminded by a mentor of mine to not do that, not to take all of that training and use it as work. That's not work. You're not actually accomplishing anything. You're not actually doing anything. You're getting more training, which is good, and it makes you feel good, possibly, but you're not taking action towards your business, your online business, to make, things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very relevant to me. So that makes sense. What you just said there, that's right in there.
And that is a good reminder for us. And I have to remind myself that too. Being on webinars all day or listening to calls and doing trainings isn't not something that's going to directly, grow your business. It's good, and with whatever we do in any profession, it's good to keep our skills up and be learning something new. But it's easy to get caught up in just doing trainings and listening to, audios and all that stuff a lot without really taking any action and applying what we're learning.
Some awesome trainings, but I think the one thing that I really like about the, just our group in general, being a rebel, is because we keep each other on track when we say, whoa, 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 hey, what are you doing? Make sure you're taking action. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're taking. Okay, so it didn't turn out perfect, but we think that was awesome. This is what you could do to maybe tweak that or whatever for next time. And that's, kind of like, I love the way my husband, that helped me and not go crazy in the process of trying to get things done, because it can feel frustrating sometimes. And I love being able to get on here and collaborate with you guys, and I love to be able to go in the group and ask questions and help at the same time. It makes me realize that I do know more than I think I do sometimes. How do you guys feel about that?
That's a good feeling. Is whenever you're you're actually doing something and someone else tells you that, hey, that's a great idea, or that actually worked. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I mean, it's even if you're not thinking about it, you're just doing it because that's part of what you know who you are or what you're doing, and you don't do it. But then you get someone reminds you or recognizes you for it, and you're like, oh well, even if you're not really thinking about it, you can be you don't have to inflate your ego, but you can be modest about it. Be like, hey, thank you, just say thank you, because a lot of times we need a reminder of in our daily life that it's okay. You don't have to have everything just so. You don't have to have everything laid out. It's all a learning process. We're all on a journey. They say success is the journey towards where you're going, and that's what I like to kind of go by that philosophy sometimes. And people like the Rebel Marketers remind me of that too. So yes.
Good. Good to have the community. Jen, can you repeat your last question? I'm sorry.
I was just talking about being part of the Rebels, and is that, do you guys get that same sense of, them helping you course correct as you go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Having that community there and seeing what, other people are trying and doing and getting feedback on what I'm doing has helped a lot,
Awesome. Yeah, because I know when I first started, I used to get lost in all the trainings, and I would never take action either, because I was just feeling like things weren't perfect or I didn't know enough yet or whatever else. And really being part of the group has really just helped me step out of that. And so that's been an awesome journey in and of itself. So, oh my gosh, we are like past our time, so.
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, we do this, we get into this stuff. So I wanna ask you guys if you can give like one more tip or advice. If somebody were to come to you and say, I can't do this because I don't have the perfect cover yet, what would you guys tell them?
I would say my new motto is, getting up every day is like launch from here. Start from where you are and start with what you know and go from there. You can always learn along the way. Well, you will, and you will learn along the way.
For me, there's a term I've been using. I don't know who coined it, but it's called action orientation. Action orientation meaning that taking action is more important than a lot of other things. It doesn't matter. Shut down your whole email account if you have too many spams. I mean, I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying that you could if you had too much spam, and start a new one if you needed to focus on just what you need to focus on. Mm-hmm. To just absolutely focus on the things that matter in your business or in your life, and all of the extraneous things, in your business and trainings and this, that, and the other and stuff. Yes, pay attention to them as you need to, but mainly just have that action orientation and just take action. Don't be afraid of, oh, this is not perfect, too many things going on. Well, just get rid of all of that and then just focus on the one and say, I'm going to take that step and just walk off. Just walk off into the water and just keep going.
That's awesome, Donnie, and I think that wraps this up perfectly. Take action. Just take action. Just focus on what you want to do. Take action and learn from it. So I hope this, guys, has been really helpful. If you are here on somebody's blog right now, click around on their links, look at some of their posts. There's a big button around here somewhere. Go ahead and look at it. All that. And tomorrow we will be on at 3 again, and we hope to see you there. And we are having an awesome time. We're glad you joined us, and we just want to say bye.
Bye.